I'm sure you guys have had your share of difficulties throughout the years in a 15-year marriage, and your share of conflict. How do you deal with a matter when you need to talk to Terrell about an issue? How do you approach it with him? Do you have like, listen, I need to talk to you? Do you set aside, listen, I need to talk to you. You need to come home. You need to be prepared to have this conversation. How do you approach a difficult subject when you're having an issue?
For me, I try not to let it go on too long without saying something because it creates tension. It's not good for the house or the kids. It usually gets bigger. It could be something small and it grows. And so to me, the quicker you tackle it, the better to tackle it. So, I mean, sometimes it's a conversation. Terrell is, he's getting better. I would say I'm a better communicator, but it's probably because what I do for work that, it's something that I've had to get better at and be strong and work on. So, and I think that it's important to, when you do have a conversation, to listen to what the other person is saying, because sometimes we're very quick to just say what we need to say, what's bothering us, and sometimes if we would just listen to what they're saying, what exactly are they saying, it makes it easier to deal with.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I talk about this all the time about how we listen to respond as opposed to really listening to take in what the issue is, and that affects the overall communication as a whole because we haven't thoroughly listened to what the problem is, and we're acting on what we think the totality of the situation is.
Yeah, and I found early on that Terrell he already had the answer in his head before he listened to what I was saying. And then he would answer, and I'm like, you didn't even listen to what I said. Like, you already had that answer, and that makes it difficult, But I think that if you, try to deal with it as soon as you see things arising, and on our anniversary every year, I always ask, how do you think that the year went? And
really?
Then, oh, absolutely. That's like very important to me. How did our year go? And then what do you want to see for next year? What
Almost
are you
like a
going to
review.
see? A little bit, because as you get older, as you grow, you do want to see different things in you and him and you together and your family. And some years they've been very big things that we've worked on or we've at least talked about. So, and then, other years it's been very small. So, but I do want to know how the years are going for him.
That's very cool. I love that idea. That might be something that I implement in my marriage. Where you're like, what the hell? But I think it's important to look back over the things that you've done and to see how much things have changed, either for better or for worse, right? I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
So what about this concept of going to bed angry? This is something that I struggle with. Sometimes I just don't feel like hashing it out all night. Have you guys ever gone to bed angry, or what is your take on that?
I mean, I think everybody's going to bed angry. Of course, it's better not to.
Yeah.
But some things don't come up until the evening. I mean, so yeah, I think everybody's going to bed early. I don't think it's a good idea, but it happens.
Do you make an effort to not do that?
I mean, sometimes if the conversations came up that's difficult, sometimes just going to bed is a way to, you're both still trying to process it, and then you can come back. Yeah, because, it's easy to overtalk conversations, and you're going around in circle, and you're really not getting anything resolved, and it's okay to not agree on everything. We definitely have, come to that conclusion. It's okay to not agree on everything, so. But yeah, sometimes it's just brewing. I mean, it makes you toss and turn.
Yeah, it does sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes you just need to take a minute away before you have the conversation when you've calmed down a little bit. that's my thing. It's like sometimes if I talk to you about this right now, it's not going to be a good conversation. I'm going to use a tone of voice that I probably shouldn't use,
Yeah.
or may use words that I shouldn't say. And if I calm down a little bit, we can have a different conversation.
It's always better when you choose your words carefully.
Choose your words.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys ever done marriage counseling or considered marriage counseling? Like, what is your thought on the value of it?
We have, and I think that for some people it works really well. For others, maybe not. If you're not open to the idea of counseling, you definitely get into it what you put out of it. It's not to sit and argue. So it's to me it's a good thing. I think it can make you a better communicator. It can give you tools that you have in your toolbox for later. So yeah, we've definitely used it.
I like the tools in your toolbox for later. You've given me a lot of snippets so far. And I didn't think about it that way. Sometimes when we're going through an issue, something that a piece of advice that someone may give us may not resonate at that moment, but in a different issue, a different situation.
Yeah, when you need it.
When you need it.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to kind of collect that along the way. I like to be around married people. That was like I already had 2 kids when I met Terrell. They were 4 and 7. Sean and Dan were 4 and 7, and so dating was definitely for a purpose by then. It wasn't just me, and so I had to, really be careful as to what I was doing and who I was doing it with and things like that. But Terrell, he comes from a family of marriages. Like, I can only think of one aunt and uncle that were divorced, and they still, like, the way the family dealt with the divorce and felt with, the person that wasn't in the family anymore. She still came around. Wow. We still saw her. She was still Aunt so-and-so. And just a long line of marriages. And so you actually were able to see, okay, what does this look like at 2 years, at 10 years, at 30 years, or whatever. Or even if you've lost a spouse and remarry. His grandfather had lost, and I never met his grandmother, but he had remarried. And so I got to see that transition. I think that's important to keep, those things around you, because it shows you what it looks like.
Now, so Rashad and Dion was 4 and 7, and bringing Terrell into their life, how did you marry the two? Like, was it a difficult challenge to bridge your families, to blend your families?
I don't think it was. I don't think that it was. It was, Terrell is amazing with kids. Kids just love him. And he likes to be around family. He's very much a person that likes to be around family. And so that made it very easy. Of course, I needed to know that I liked him first. Right. And, that family was important. I saw that immediately. So when he, spent time with them, I could see that he really enjoyed their company and they were enjoying his company. So, we kept it very casual. As far as that goes, I did not try to push Terrell on the boys. They just naturally kind of grew together. And that went on over the years. I remember when we got married, Rashad was, he was 7, was he 10, 11? He was getting ready to turn 11, and he was like, I really like Terrell's name. Do I have to call him Dad? And I was like, are you comfortable calling him Terrell? And he was like, yeah, I really like the name Terrell. And I said, call him Dad, call him Terrell, whatever you're comfortable, whatever you guys are comfortable with. Well, over time, that Terrell became Dad, and he stopped calling him Terrell. But that took time. I did not push it. Yeah. And I think that it's important to, when you have kids, that you end up with somebody that loves kids. you know, because they're in your house a long time and they're in your life a lot longer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how old they are, they're still your kids. They don't go away. They're always there. So, you know, that's important to have somebody that's around that really loves, you know, loves to be around kids. So I don't think it was hard.